Hey y'all, hey. Hey y'all, hey. Happy Bible Talk Wednesday. Hey y'all. So I didn't get a chance to do my video yesterday. I don't know what is going on with me, but I have been exhausted. Maybe because I need some rest. I be doing too much all the time. So like, just pray for me, y'all. But however, I prayed over my book and I opened it to Job 10. I'm not gonna lie, I closed my book and I opened it back up and it came back to Job 10. Closed it, opened it back up, came back to Job 10. So somebody need to hear it. I don't know who. I don't know what I'm gonna get from it, but we gonna try to read it. And if you don't know, Job had everything taken from him by the devil, and the Lord gave it back to him for being a faithful servant of him. So therefore, we're going to get into it and see what the Lord has for us for today. And it says, I loathe my very life, therefore I will give free rein to my complaint and speak out in the bitterness of my soul. I say to God, do not declare me guilty, but tell me what charges you have against me. Does it please you to oppress me, to spurn the work of your hands, while you smile on the plans of the wicked? Do you have eyes of flesh? Do you see mortal seed? Do you see as mortal seeds? Are your days like those of a mortal, or your years like those of a strong man? That you must search out my faults and probe after my sin, though you know I am not guilty, and that no one can rescue me from your hand. Your hands shaped me and made me. Will you not now turn and destroy me? Remember that you molded me like clay. Will you now turn me to dust again? Did you not pour me out like milk and curdle me like cheese, clothe me with skin and flesh, and knit me together with bones and sinews? You gave me life and showed me kindness, and in your providence watched over my spirit. But this is what you concealed in your heart, and I know that this was in your mind. If I sinned, you would be watching me and would not let my offense go unpunished. If I am guilty, woe to me. Even if I am innocent, I cannot lift my head, for I am full of shame and drowned in my affliction. If I hold my head high, you stalk me like a lion, and again display your awesome power against me. You bring new witnesses against me and increase your anger toward me. Your forces come against me wave upon wave. Why then did you bring me out the womb? I wish I had died before any eye saw me. If only I had never come into being, or had been carried straight from the womb to the grave. And now, are not my few days almost over? Turn away from me so I can have moments of joy. I can have a moment's joy before I go to the place of no return, to the land of gloom and utter darkness, to the land of deepest nights and utter darkness and disorder, where even the light is like darkness. And that is it. And I didn't have a pen today, so I couldn't mark stuff off. But the first thing that stuck out to me was when it started at verse 8, where it says, your hands shaped me and made me. Will you now turn and destroy me? Remember that you molded me like clay. Will you now turn me to dust again? Did you not pour me out like milk and curdle me like cheese, clothe me with skin and flesh, and knit me together with bones and sinews? You gave me life and showed me kindness, and in your providence watched over my spirit. So that was 8 through 12. And that part stuck out to me. I don't know why I'm sure like that. But that part stuck out to me because God created us all. Like, we were all created in his image. Yes, we have fleshly, what is the word I'm looking for? We all move in flesh-like ways, I'll say. But God created us to be more like him. And that's why sometimes, like, when we're too forgiving, people are like, oh, well, you're too forgiving. But I'm created to be like God, and God was forgiving. So therefore, what you want me to do about that? Like, I used to hate my forgiving heart. I used to be mad. Like, why do I forgive people? And they just keep showing me over and over again. That don't mean that I have to, my bad, y'all. Okay, so what I was saying was I used to hate my forgiving heart. And I just couldn't understand why I kept forgiving people, even when they did me dirty, even when they did me wrong. And God is like, I want you to be more like me. It doesn't mean that you have to have them in your life, but forgive them, because in the Bible, it also says, forgive others so that God can forgive us. So therefore, I'm going to keep forgiving. I don't care what nobody says. People like, you give people too many chances. No, I forgive them. That don't mean that they have to be in my life. So at the end of the day, I forgive them. But again, just like they always say, people may just be here for a season, a lifetime, or I don't know what the other one is, but a lesson. But it's just God wants us to be more like him. And so when Job was talking about how God created us, he created us. He nitpicked us. He put us together. Like from our mom, before we were even in our mom's womb, he already knew us. So just remember that. Like sometimes like we be like, oh, well, we're not worthy, we're not worthy, and we're not worth anything and all of these things. However, you are worthy to God. God created you. He created you from before you were even in your mom's womb. He knew what two people to put together to have you. Like, and that's so important, because sometimes we be like, I just don't understand why I'm here. Like Job, I would have rather died. Like I would have rather died or not been born. So I think that that was really important, because God is like, I created you. And Job is like, but God, you created me. So why am I going through this? He didn't understand. And just like I always say, you don't realize what I'm doing, but later you will understand. And Job had lost everything. The only thing I think they said that he had left was his wife. And that was because he was married to her. So technically, when two become one, they become one flesh. I mean, when two get married, they become one flesh. So Job is like, I just don't understand. Like, Lord, you created me. You did this, you did that. And now I'm suffering. Like, it just don't make sense. And if I was Job, I probably would have been the same way, because like, I've been faithful. I've been doing all of these things, and you just let everything be taken. Like, yes, he can give and he can take away. However, in that moment, I would have been upset. I don't think I would have stopped loving God or stopped doing what he wanted me to do, but I still feel like I would have been upset, because it's like, dang, like I really worked hard. And I did everything that you wanted me to do. And then now here we are, like, but you still have to trust God, even when he does take things away, because he knows better. And sometimes he has to prove to the enemy, he really don't have to prove anything, but he has to prove to other people that if God can do it for me, he can do it for you. And that's one thing I love about Job's story, is that he did it for Job. He did it for Abraham. He did it for Isaac. He did it for everybody in the Bible. And he didn't have to, but he did. So be grateful that God is on your side. Trust me, I'm grateful. And then the next part that stuck out to me was verse 18, where it says, why then did you bring me out of the womb? I wish I had died before any eye saw me. If only I had never come into being, or had been carried straight from the womb to the grave. Are not my few days almost over? Turn away from me so I can have a moment's joy before I go to the place of no return, to the land of gloom and utter darkness. And that part stuck out to me because, like I said, Job wanted to die. Like, you took everything, now I don't want to be here. Like, and that's true. Like, can you imagine losing your kids and like your house and everything that you use to feed yourself? Like, I would have wanted to die too. Like, and I don't blame Job. I definitely would have wanted to die. However, Job was like, aren't my days almost over? Like, you might as well just take me now. Why would you even want me to still be here after you done took everything? Like, and he said, turn away from me so I can have a moment's joy. And that part stuck out to me because he's like, God, can you please just stop doing whatever you're doing so that I can just enjoy my last days? Like, because he thought it was his last days. However, Job didn't die. Job ended up getting, again, back everything he lost and more, because that's how amazing God is. He will take something away and then give it back to you, but he'll give it back to you multiplied by like 10 times. Like, and that's why, like, sometimes, like, yeah, when God takes things away, we get upset, we get sad, we feel some kind of way. However, what he takes away, he can always give back. And it doesn't have to be that physical thing. It can be like, all right, so say, if you want to have marriage, right? You go, you have your marriage. It's not doing what God needs us to do. So he can take that away, and then he can allow you to marry someone else, or he can allow you to be restored to that person that you were married to, and then do it in the right way. So it's just, God is amazing, because it just shows, like, yes, he took the stuff away. However, it's just things. Like, as long as you have God, you have all you need. And that is one thing that I try to live by, because people be like, yeah, because money, you need money. Yes, you do need money. However, if I don't have no money, what I'm going to do? At least I'll find peace in knowing that I still have God regardless. He's going to have things taken care of for me. Like, sometimes I don't have any money. However, he will send someone that'll be like, all right, well, you want to go to dinner or something? And then they'll pay. Cool. I don't need no money for that. Like, so as long as you have God, you have all you need. Like, literally, as long as you have God, you don't have to worry about nothing, because God will supply all your needs. That's what the Bible tells us. Like, and I don't want to just keep on rambling on, but Job, even though he went through all of this, he never once said, well, I'm not going to serve the Lord. Yes, he was upset, which he had the right to be. Everybody you can be upset. Nobody said you cannot be upset. However, what you will not do is curse the name of God or turn away from him because he did something that will develop your character, that will develop you, that will help others around you eventually believe God. Because that's all it is at the end of the day. God wants us to bring people back to him. So if y'all see something that happened to me, and y'all like, oh, well, why, if God was real, why would he do that for her? But then you see what he does in that process, how he built me up, how he allowed me to have my confidence back, how he allowed me to just work on my character building, because my attitude used to suck and now it doesn't. Like, sometimes, yes, I can still have attitude. However, for the most part, I think about things now instead of just acting impulsively like I used to. And if God can do that for me, he can do that for you. So sometimes God will allow things to happen that may not seem fair to us, but it's just to prove the point that God is who he say he is. He needs to get all of that those worldly, I don't even know the word I'm looking for. Those worldly problems out of you. Problems is not the word that I want to use, but it gets the point across. But he want to get all those worldly problems out of you so that you can be godly. Like, he wants us to turn away from who we were to turn into who he's calling us to be. And in order to get to where he's calling us to be, he has to break us, because we grow up. Some of us grow up in a church, some of us don't. But we grow up thinking that everything is going to be like the way that we were brought up. However, when we get older, we realize, like, a lot of the stuff that we learned when we were younger, it needs to be unlearned. And that's honestly true. So I don't know who needs to hear this, but keep trusting God. Don't give up. Don't curse God's name. And just trust that whatever he's doing right now is just building you up for wherever he's taking you. So I pray y'all have a great Wednesday, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.